Why can we be afflicted but not crushed? How is it we can be persecuted and not forsaken, struck down but not destroyed? Because there's a treasure inside of you. This treasure is in earthen vessels. We're made from the dust of the ground. We're the earthen vessels. Wherever you see earthen vessels in the Bible, it's symbolic of humanity. It's symbolic of our human life. This treasure God is talking about, it's in earthen vessels. He's put a treasure inside of you. He's put great treasure in you. It's from God. It's what enables you to endure affliction and not be crushed, to endure being perplexed. Man, 2020 perplexed us. 2021 may be still perplexing us a little the first week or two, but you know what? It doesn't matter, because we're not going to despair. Why? Because we have a treasure inside of us. You can take away something on the outside of us, but we have a treasure on the inside of us. You can try to hurt us on the outside, but we got a treasure on the inside. Everything can fall around us, but we got a treasure tall inside of us. Greater is He that is in you than he that's in this world. And when you discover that treasure, that's what brings breakthrough. And that's why I want to take you to a familiar passage of Scripture, 2 Kings chapter 4. He talks about this treasure that's inside of us. Because so often we're looking for something outside to help our situation, when really all the help we need is already in us, because God put it there. Now there was a certain woman, it says, whose husband had died, and the creditors were coming to take her sons as slaves. And she cried out to the prophet Elisha, "Your servant, my husband, is dead. And they're going to take my sons. What do I do? The creditors come to take my 2 children to make payment for what is owed." And notice, she said, "What am I going to do?" And Elisha said, what do you have in your house? What shall I do for you? What do you have in your house? Notice where the prophet takes her. Back to the house. He pointed her to her own house. And in this case, we're talking about the house of, really the house can be a symbol of several things. Obviously, the house is a symbol of our temple. We're the temple. Your body is the temple of God, the house of God. It's inside of you. Greater is He that's in you than he that's in the world. But the house is also the church, the house of God. The point is, he pointed her to what she already had. Because what you need is usually almost always connected to what you already have. What you need is already in the house. How many of us used to think, I've been guilty of this, that people were going to be the solution or the answer? That the right spouse is going to be the solution or the answer. That the right job is going to be the solution or the answer. The right president is going to be the solution or the answer. The right government is going to be the solution or the answer. The right business, the right this or that was going to be the solution. And I want you to know that someone else is not the answer. The first thing that was the key to the breakthrough she needed was a shift of her thinking. It fits into the concept we've been talking about. Perspective. Perspective is not what you see. Perspective is how you see it. And he shifted her perspective. He got her thinking about what she already had rather than what she didn't have. He got her focused, and God's trying to get us thinking about what we have rather than what we don't have. Even if there's something really important that you need, it still starts with a shift in your thinking and a shift in your perspective to what you already have. What you need starts with what you already have anyway. They needed to feed thousands, but it started with what they had. What do you have? 5 loaves and 2 fish. What you have is always the secret. What you have is always the secret. How you look at what you have is always the secret to what you don't have. How you look at what you have is always the secret to the breakthrough that you need. As you are thankful for what you have, as you use what you have, as you recognize what you have, that is the secret power. That's where the power is to bring the breakthrough that you need. We're so used to focusing on what we lack. This woman's problem was all about what she didn't have. But this woman's solution was all about what she did have. The treasure that's inside of you, we mistakenly believe it's something external, the treasure that we're looking for. We think that it's granted to us from something outside of us, and we need to shift our perspective and realize it's been granted to us by God, but it's inside of us. What do you have in your house? Your maidservant has nothing, verse 2, except this jar of oil. I have nothing in the house except a jar of oil. There's always an except. Whenever you use the word nothing, look for the exception, because there's always something. When you think there's nothing, there's always something. There's always something. There's always something good in a situation. There's always something good in a person. There's always something good in you. When you think there's nothing, look for the good.